It was a damp one in Tokyo, but dare I say, it rained on no one's parade because it was an absolute show in Tokyo on the last day of the World Championships. I hate to admit that it was the last day, but it is. But we're not done yet. One more show, one more dance, to quote my friend Devin Heroux. I'm Perdita Felicien, two-time world champion, two-time Olympian. Someone told me to say that so y'all can put some respect on my name. Of course, I am not by myself. I got a world champion in the mixed zone for us on the ground in Tokyo, CBC's own Devin Heroux. And in studio with us right now, world record holder over 100 meters back in the day, world champion, Olympic champion, Mr. Donovan Bailey. Okay, let's cut to the chase. Let's chase to the cut. Canadian men get silver. Donovan on the track, undone by the Americans. How do you see that race?
You know what? The Canadians were lucky and incredible in how they ran today. The U.S. on paper should have destroyed them, and for years and years and years, the U.S. has always had the strongest team, but not really good with a stick. Man, the Canadian team, the old band, stayed together and brought it home. It is what it is. I like what I see. The Canadian team's a little older. The U.S. team's a little younger. Man, it's going to be a great future for these guys.
It really is. Devin, you were there. You saw it. By the way, for all that rain, Devin, you're looking really, really, really good, my friend. Just got to say, I'm digging the red. So you caught up with the Canadian men in that relay. How did they say it went afterwards?
It's interesting, right? Because they are the Olympic champions, so they want gold every time. And you saw the disappointment very visibly from Jerome Blake, and I think that's a good sign. I think that tells you that despite all the medals these guys have won, 6 international medals over a decade, which is astounding, they are still hungry. They still want gold. But to that point, 37:55 in a driving rain, just off their national record time that they won the World Championship in Eugene, Oregon 3 years ago. It was another solid performance. And you know what, you guys, when I break this down over the last 3 years, that World Championship in Eugene, national record 37:48, Olympic gold last year 37:50, and 37:55 tonight. They are the model of consistency. Time and time again, they get it done. Another global medal. It is a silver medal behind the Americans, but they were right in it here tonight. Consistency is key. That's what's led them to success all of this time. And a short time ago, Glenn Roy called them one of the greatest relay teams of all time. Over to you, Perdita and Donovan, to talk about that.
You dare say that in the presence of Mr. Donovan Bailey and Glenn Roy was on that team, the greatest of all time. Anyways, Donovan, I'm gonna park that conversation.
Please do. Please park. Let's move on.
I'm not saying we're not gonna go back to it. I'm gonna park it for a second.
Right.
So yes, this is hilarious to me. The most consistent team for sure. But to me, they were just outclassed. Speed-wise, the Americans finally did what we always thought that they should have done when they don't drop the baton. Their speed is absolutely unmatched. You said, though, that if it were you, you would have switched up that quartet. You would have maybe put an Eli in there, or even, Eli mainly is
right.
Do you stand by the decision that they made on the track?
Well, I mean, I do. I'm not gonna. Glenn Roy is my boy. Glenn Roy is my teammate. I'm not gonna override his decision. I think that obviously he was right. The decision that he made in the semifinals for these guys to run, they won their heat. And what they did today was great. I mean, I think that they far exceeded what the world's expectations was going to be. But clearly, these guys are quite confident and sticking with the actual team itself. But yes, I think that it's very important when you have obviously a great team that's very consistent. It's very important to build. And one of the things that I would do, or I would have done, or advised Glenn Roy, is that although you have the band, which is these 4 guys that has been very good, you need to have 4 young guys that's always competing. Whether or not it's relay camp, just actually have 4 guys coming up. Although this is a individual race, we've got to get the next 4. We got to get them up and coming. We got to get them coming because, relay championships is next year, world championships a year after that, and then home Olympics. Home Olympics. I mentioned it earlier when we were on air. anytime the Olympics is in the U.S., that's a home Olympics for Canadians because you just drive across the border, fly an hour or two. So Canada has to be ready for the Olympics in 28, for the World Championships in 27, and the World Relay Championships next year.
Devin, this is true. The Americans are hosting in LA. I'm sure this bodes well for their chances and what they believe they're capable of at home.
Well, Christian Coleman will tell you that order has been restored in the relay world. That's what they told me in a post-race interview. They were brimming with confidence, bravado, as we would expect.
Of course.
And I asked Noah a little bit about the rivalry with Canada, and we have what he said. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the smartest idea for them to shout out USA who after the Olympics. And especially when I didn't get to show them who USA was. So, yeah, it was going to be fun in Beijing.
Noah, what are you talking about? You got to love Noah Lyles. Donovan, he knows how to spice it up. But can I just say this about Noah? He talks the talk, but he backs it up. But Noah, your memory, sir, it was you that said Canada who after leading into the Olympics, and then Canada comes and beats you, and now you don't remember that you actually started this beef? How dare you? But Donovan, I don't know what to make of Noah Lyles. I mean, he backed it up tonight.
It's a very emotional reaction that we're having here. Listen, I think that's Noah being Noah. I like Noah and the things that he does say because, listen, it's track and field. It's positive, awesome track and field news that's leading news cycles. But yeah, he's doing what he's doing, and he's saying what he's saying, and ultimately, I think that this should light a fire. I love this rivalry because this is me. This is when I was a boy and competing against America and snatching your goal every year. Not once, snatching it every year. So I think that this is awesome what Noah is saying. This definitely should light a fire under the Canadians, but on the relay,
yes.
And also more importantly, the individual athletes. We've got to get guys back in the 100-meter finals.
I don't know, Devin, maybe I am too emotional about this, but I don't know. Something about Noah Lyles. What was your reaction when you heard him say that? He talked so much smack.
Well,
Schmack.
I mean, you see what I'm wearing here tonight, red and white.
Yes.
And so when they came over to our Canadian broadcast position, they know who we represent here. They had some fun with it, but they were feeling very good. Of course, Noah had the crown on. They were all proud-chested here. We talked about it. I've talked about it with people here. I feel like this was a crucial world championship for the Americans, specifically on the relays in the wake of the disaster in Paris. So they're on top of the world tonight. They are emotional, and they're going to soak it up, and they're going to tell everybody who will listen how good they are here tonight. Just a quick point, Perdita and Donovan, about the point about the young guys waiting in the wings to get on this team. I tried to be tactful in my question to the guys on the band right now about the future and what that entails. They were unequivocal every time I asked about sticking together and going forward into the future. For how long, for how many events, I don't know, but they were very clear that they plan to stick together, and should we doubt them as they get older, collectively, they continue to run just as fast. So I'll leave it at that in terms of what they said about their future.
And we do have to give our hats, take our hats off to this team because they have been outstanding. They have been together for so long, especially Aaron Brown, a big pillar of this. If we look at what they've done over time, and of course, I know, Donovan, we don't always like this conversation, but the truth is we are comparing greatness to greatness. Both of you with the gold medals, look at this, Olympic champions, both of you. Look at the bronze medals. To me, it is apples, oranges, apples, whatever. It's all great. You don't see it that way, my friend?
No, Perdita. No, I don't. Listen, first
Tell
of
me.
all, we're not going to have a discussion about on a comparison. These are
Yes.
two different generations,
That's right.
And these guys have been solid for 15 years.
Yes.
Okay. So what we did was the most dominant relay. In an individual sport, we were the most dominant relay for 5 years, for one cycle, for
You're right.
actually 4 years, and it was nothing but gold. So we're not comparing. What we are doing is this: the legacy that I had individually and our relay team had as a team. This is what we're seeing. So that's why we should never, ever compare. This team today, I mean, playing it forward, looking at these guys, cheering them on and supporting them, is because we set a standard. There's
That's
a
right.
world records, Olympic champion,
Yes.
Commonwealth, every champion,
everything.
every single major competition, I won gold, right? Right. I won gold individually, and the relay team won gold. So this is a standard that's set. So that's why it is, I think, that when you speak to Glenroy, myself, Bruni, Carlton, Robert, you go, this is the legacy. These guys are enjoying the legacy, the beautiful residual thing that they are going to continue to do, and then leave it for the next generation behind them.
So you're saying you're just the best. You're the best. Your team
Absolutely.
is the best.
There's only one world record holder. There's
Hey!
only one world. Listen, in the history, undisputed.
Talk, Donovan Bailey.
Chop, chop, chop. I'm telling you. So the one I've been blessed to have 3 world records,
Yes.
and be serenaded by the national anthem
Yes.
at every single major competition.
Yes.
Myself, and then the relay got to do the same thing the next week.
Devin, did you hear all that, Devin? Did you hear all that?
Listen, I am just basking in all of this greatness right now from Tokyo. No, it's brilliant. And, you know, I mean, if we're going down this road, let me just tell you how awesome it has been to be alongside the two of you throughout all of this, because you are etched into the minds of Canadians. The legacy is great. You have to see it to believe it, and that's what's happened for these Canadian men. The bar was raised. They saw it. They believed that they could step onto the world scene. Never before. Donovan, you walked into the belly of the beast in Atlanta. The Americans had never lost, and you took them down. And that changed the course of track and field history in this country. So I'm loving this conversation.
Thank you.
I agree with that. And I think, you know, on track side, Aaron pushed me to make a decision, and my vote was for 1996. Again, greatness to greatness.
Forced you.
But no, I don't want to answer this question. You're my friend. You didn't even return my WhatsApp question when I said, do you want to talk about this on the show? You left me on red. It's okay.
Why? Why did I leave you on red, Perdita?
Because you don't want to talk about it. You're like, there's no
but
discussion.
because I just said to you, you can't.
I know.
You can't. I mean, I think that if there's a relay team versus relay team argument, I am the guy sitting with the crown on the side.
But I felt bad for asking you because you are my number one. That team is my number one, and I
Right.
hated putting you on that position. But my point is, if you think about 1996, what Devin just said,
Right.
you guys
Thank
beat
you,
the
Devin.
Americans in Atlanta on home soil, right? And I just think, if you think about who did it first,
Right.
it's etched in the mind of every single Canadian, where you were, what you were doing that night in Atlanta, me as well.
Right.
And so when you compare the two teams, doing it in Paris is monumental, it's great. But what you guys did over those years, you kicked American butt. Respectfully, Americans watching, we love you. But that was such a big deal. So that's why, when I asked you, I was like, he's going to be like, Perdita, what are you doing?
In America.
Thank you for answering.
In America.
Thank you. In America.
Yes.
That's the point. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Donovan, for replying to that question. I didn't think you were going to answer me, but, you know.
It's okay.
You are the GOAT. You are the GOAT. We know this. So let's talk about the women, because Devin, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, leaves here with the triple, 3 gold medals, 3 races for the Americans.
You know what I love about sport and being a journalist at these moments is there are these moments that transcend everything. The stories that unfold. And here tonight, in the rain, yes, the Americans won gold, but Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce got in the blocks and led off the Jamaicans in the last race of her career. The only woman to win the triple. And there they are. It was a literal changing of the guard here tonight. In 2007, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce came to Japan as a 19-year-old. She said, I didn't know who I was or what was ahead of me. And here tonight, 18 years later, she knows exactly who she is, perhaps the greatest of all time. And there was Melissa Jefferson Wooden completing the triple. And when they hugged, I got goosebumps. It was a magical night here for those two women as this relay final unfolded. Greatness, respecting greatness. It's as good as it gets. And one final note, I had a wonderful conversation with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. I said, Shelly, you were fast here tonight. And she laughed. And I said, does that factor into your decision? She said, nope. I wanted to do everything I could possibly do to help my team to gold here tonight. And I'm satisfied that I did it. What a champion. What a night.
It seems so poetic, Devin, that she did started her career in Japan, in Osaka, like you said, and then she ends it with a medal in Japan, this time in Tokyo. Donovan, what can we say about Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's legacy? This woman has won everything that there is to win, and she bows out on her terms. Don't forget, last year into Paris, she said, Paris is the end. I'm done. I'm retired. Then she unretired. Now Devin says she's really done. But what do we make of her legacy now?
Well, I think she said that Paris last year that it was her last World Championship, or she's retiring. Who knows?
She did say she was retiring.
I don't remember. But Shelly-Ann Fraser is the queen. Is absolutely the queen of track and field. One of the things I in my speeches or when I speak to a lot of the young cats, I point out to someone like Shelly-Ann. Not only is she the greatest ambassador on the track, but how she's find life balance, how she's lived, how she's promoted the sport, but also how she's had an incredible brand off the track. How she, stops and speaks and smiles to someone like Devin. Absolutely. And the partnerships that she's had outside of track and field. You are the CEO of your brand. Everybody should know this. It's not about racing. You're going to make more money off the track. And it's all based upon the people you talk to, smiles, the energy you put out there. You can see that she's always smiling. Devin, you know this. And I mean, we all know this, but I'm just saying that you spoke to her and you speak to her often. But you can see that the brand that she's created, and I want all the young ladies or the young men that are thinking of sport being their future, understand exactly what you need to do, because it doesn't end when you leave the track.
That's true.
In fact, it starts then.
That's true.
And she's a phenomenal example.
And she can decide what she wants to do next. And I think you're right. Her star is going to shine brighter on her next journey than it has on the track, and that's incredibly bright. We have to pay tribute, though, Donovan, to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who leaves these championships with 3 gold medals. And you saw the 2 women hugging, changing of the guard. What can you say about the show she put on here?
Well, Melissa's young. Melissa's hungry. If we're speaking, obviously we just spoke about Shelly-Ann, being one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, the queen of the track. Melissa is prime. She's taking it over right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying to you that it almost resembles, a young Shelly-Ann Fraser from back in the day. You have someone who, again, very approachable. Thanks for the shout out, because she's been managed by my old agent. So Melissa, thanks for the shout out. But yeah, the balance that she's had, understanding what she needed to do this year, understanding her race schedule. Again, you talk about management.
Yes.
I mean, the track season was late for everybody.
Yes.
And it started for everybody. And so one of the things that you need to do is to understand what it is how you need to manage your race schedule this year. Obviously, nutrition, all the things you need to do, whatever life brings you.
That's right.
And she maintained running well all year, and then shined at the World Championships at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. The season's over, and she's 3-time gold medalist now in her first real one. That's amazing. So she is now primed, and Devin, like you said, one of the greatest shots that track and field fans got to see was one of the greatest sprinters on earth leaving, and the next one.
This is right.
Having a great hug and a chat at the end. So I think that our sport is in great hands with Melissa coming up.
It is in great hands. Donovan, it has been an absolute treat. I can say this on behalf of the whole team here, Devin and myself, watching these World Championships with you through your eyes, your insights, your experience, your candor. I do pray after this you reply to my WhatsApp messages when I put you on the spot. But thank you, my friend. You are the GOAT for a reason, and we thank you. So we will see you at the next championships, if you'll have us back.
Yes.
All right.
If I'll have you back, yes.
Okay, if you'll have me back.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Of course.
For sure.
Devin and I are not done here. We're going to talk about the men's 4x4 next.
In absolutely savage conditions, the men's 4x4 is about to start. What a finish! They're all closing. The American might be caught. Botswana by a whisker. What a race! What a week it's been in Tokyo. And for the first time in history, it's an African nation on top.
All right. We're going to talk about that men's 4x4. It was all about Team Botswana in the rain. Devin, it was such a masterclass to me because the rain was coming down. If you think about the raindrops being in their eyes, the depth perception is off. And even in the other rounds, they didn't put Kibinat Shippey, the world champion in the 400 meters, in that race. They put him here, Devin, and the gold is theirs. Also, Leslie Tebogo, Olympic champion over 200 meters, also was on that relay. So fun to watch.
Perdita, it was so special to watch the Botswanans win gold here tonight. The first time in their history that they win gold in this event. And this 4x400 was chaotic. It was an adventure from start to finish. Of course, the Americans got into the final earlier today by winning that head-to-head showdown with the Kenyans because of everything that unfolded yesterday. And then you thought maybe the juggernaut American squad would win here tonight, but not to be. There's Buzang crossing the line first. Perdita, you said it. Leslie Tebogo on this 4x400 meter team. He had the fastest split here tonight. Absolutely electric. Maybe he should be running in the 400, Perdita.
This is what I'm thinking.
I don't know. But
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely outstanding. And I talked to Buzang and Leslie after their gold medal performance, and they were jubilant. You can imagine. They were celebrating. I don't know if you saw it. Well, you did see their celebration, Perdita, on the call.
The high legs, the
and it
skips,
was
yes.
Exactly, and it was Buzang that told his other three teammates, if we win gold, this is what you guys have to do with me. And they all followed suit perfectly, and he delivered a great anchor leg. It is one of the great stories among many here at the World Athletics Championships because we know how many times the Americans have won this event. It is truly a global championship. I think something like 45 different nations won a medal, and of course Botswana making history in a few events here, Perdita. It is great for the sport. It was great for the 4x400 meter final.
That's such a great story, Devin. I did not know that they made a decision that this is what we're going to do because it was so fun to watch. But you're right, 3 Botswanan men in that 400 meter final. They were the favorites to win. I should also say that because the Americans had to, do a time trial to get in, they had never, Devin, missed a world championship final in the history of this competition. Another thing I need to say, and I'm dating myself, but I love stats, I love history. So that was the first time that a man from Botswana has won a gold medal at the Worlds in the 400. But he's not the first person from his country. Amantel Moncho from my era won that race in 2011. So how are they producing all these 400 meter runners? We don't know. But they're also hosting the World Relays next year in Botswana. I'm going to try and say they need to send me and you to go there because I'd love to go there. But anyways, that is such a good thing to see them. Let's talk about the women. Devin, to me, having Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone on that anchor leg, it didn't matter what the other 3 legs did. She was going to find a way to win because, this woman is the second fastest 400 meter runner in history now.
Perdita, what's been so interesting to be inside this stadium and get this firsthand look at the athletes as they enter the venue and prepare to take to the track is that I'm watching Sydney and I'm watching the way she prepares for every single one of her races. Her routine is exactly the same, Perdita, before every race, whether it's the 400 meter heats, the 400 meter semifinal, the 400 final, or the 4x400 meter final. She was exactly the same, so focused. I would not want to meet her down on the track before any of those races because there is nothing getting between Sydney and getting to the line first. And it was fascinating to watch her teammates be around that here tonight because they were dialed in just like she was. And I think the Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone effect was in full force for this American quartet here tonight. Everything she touches turns to gold. And that was the case once again here tonight in Tokyo.
That Midas touch. I do wonder with Sydney what she is going to do next year. For some reason in my heart, Devin, I think we're not going to see her at 400-meter hurdles again. I think she'll stick with the 4, but what do I know? I do want to touch on the 800 meters. Lillian O'Dara, just to give her a shout out, breaks the championship record. A surprise winner, Keely Hodgkinson, Olympic champion, doesn't have an answer for her. But to me, she drops 3 seconds off of her race. This is why you do it. You can see Keely Hodgkinson of Great Britain really trying to get past Mara, who, to me, I thought she was going to win, if anybody. Then here comes Lillian, just times it so perfectly. And I got to end by saying the Kenyan women have been completely superb and superior at these championships. 800-meter gold, Kenyan women. 1,500-meter gold, Faith Kipyegon, Kenyan women. 5,000, 10,000 by Beatrice Chebet. They have absolutely owned everything in the middle distance. So hats off to all of them. We also got to talk, Devin, about the 5,000 meters. Cole Hawker of the USA. He got disqualified in the men's 1,500 meters. Remember, he snuck through, impeded another athlete, so they threw him out. They sent him home. He runs such a great race. He stays back, and there he is. He grabs it, he takes it, and you gotta think that DQ has been in his head all week, and he knows, I do not want to be denied. I gotta show what I can do. So hats off to Cole Hawker. Again, he was not on my bingo card. Not that I do a lot of bingo cards for the men's 5,000 meters, but I did this time, and it wasn't Hawker. But here he is. Here he is.
Perdita,
Devin, any final thoughts?
You know what? I love a story of redemption. I think we saw that happen here a lot, whether it was a rerun in the relay or Cole Hawker, missing earlier in the event and then winning here tonight. I think it's fascinating and important when an athlete can sort of flip the switch, refocus, leave everything behind them, and then make it count when it matters. So brilliant race, and shout out to the 800 meters. The men's and women's final, Perdita, turned out to be 2 of the most riveting races here at the World Championships. So that middle distance is brilliant to watch. The strategy, all of that, and the drama, back-to-back nights, so fascinating. Perdita, I have a bit of a surprise for you. Before we wind down here, and before I throw to the surprise, let me just say it's been an absolute honor doing this. I've loved every second of it. And yeah, I think we should go to Botswana for World Relays. But here is a bit of a surprise. It's been a blast filling in, but now it's time for me to pass the baton, the proverbial microphone, over to your co-host all season. Take a look at this.
Hey man, I just want to say I love what I do on the track, but being on trackside, it's another passion of mine. So shout out to all the side pieces who've tuned in week in and week out. It's been a blessing. It's been a pleasure being a co-host with Perdita. Perdita, shout out to you. It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm sure you've been cheering for us, and we went out there trying to make you guys proud. You know, it's been I'll call it a dynasty. You know, we've been at it, this core, me, Jerome, Brendan, and Andre, of course. You know, we've been at it for years, and we just want to bring great moments for you guys. And then one day, when I hang these up, I'll turn it over, and I'll be full-time on trackside. But for now, I appreciate all my side pieces. Shout out to Devin for stepping in. He's done a great job. I'm sure he was amazing. But I love all my side pieces. Season 2, we're coming back.
Oh.
Well, Perdita, yeah, I mean, it is special stuff. You guys have done such a brilliant job, so I wanted to make sure we did that because you guys have really served the audience so well all season long. Aaron is ready.
He is.
He was, you know what? After he did that, Perdita, he actually said to our producer here, Aaron Dutra, who's done a brilliant job as well, so shout out to him. He actually said, we're talking next week about the season wrap, right? Yes. So Aaron is all business, Perdita. He's loved it. I've loved it. And it's been a real pleasure.
My
Perdita.
damn makeup. Why did Dutra did this? Why did you this? No, I need a moment, guys. I need a moment. I need to say something. I know we got to go, but I need to say something. And I just need to say finally, I just want to say thank you. And I know I'm emotional, I'm crying. The reason I'm crying is because one, this job is passionate to me. I love Aaron, I appreciate you, and I love what I do. But also, Devin, I gotta be honest, like when you compete in sport and you walk away and you retire, all these athletes will be searching for their next why. And sometimes you don't know what that is. And I feel such a privilege, such an honor to be able to tell these stories, to be able to steer them, to talk to you, to talk to Aaron, to have our side pieces. I love it. And so that's where this emotion is coming from. I'm not acting. This is truly me, and this is an honor, the honor of my life. So thank you, Devin, for that. I can't believe you all did that to me. Pinch Dutra on the arm for me. How dare he? I'm gonna see him when he gets back in the studio. But anyways, final thoughts are this for me. Thank God for waterproof mascara. Is I cannot believe these champions. I want to say Tokyo got it right. I know you've been there on the ground. It seems like they've gotten it right. Hats off to them and World Athletics. Hats off to Team Canada. I know that there was a sense that Team Canada has underperformed on the track. Only a few athletes made finals. I know Glenroy Gilbert, as head coach of Athletics Canada, is going to have to do, a post on all of this and see what's happened. But hats off to the athletes who won medals. Evan Dunphy getting us started. Thank you for everybody watching us this season on Trackside. All of you keeping us company. Even some of the mean comments, we're okay with that because you're passionate and you love this sport. Devin, we make a great team, and anytime Aaron is not around, I'm gonna call you my friend. So thank you for this. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on our rap show in October after Athos. We'll see you again. Thank you.